All right. Well, let's go ahead and end it. The outcome of the verdict.
The contrary. Like, it was obvious at the time what the actual ends of the law was for. And the judge who wrote the dissent, Judge John Marshall Harlan, yeah, it's not like he was some radical abolitionist. No, he was a former enslaver who had opposed emancipation and civil rights for freed slaves during the Reconstruction era. And even he was like, yeah, okay, but like, we all know what's actually going on, right, guys? But through twists of logic and willful blindness, the court majority was able to say, nah, if blacks think this is a badge of inferiority, that's their own fault. Basically an I'm sorry you feel that way skirting of responsibility. And with that ruling, Plessy versus Ferguson gave the constitutional justification for separate but equal laws that persisted for over half a century during the Jim Crow era, allowing for the proliferation of segregated schools, busing, hotels, swimming pools, and theaters. It wouldn't be until the landmark case Brown v. Board of Education in 1954 that the Supreme Court would finally overturn Plessy versus Ferguson's approval of segregation. After the ruling, Homer Plessy was then criminally tried for violating the Separate Car Act and was required to pay a fine of $25, the equivalent of about $870 today. The Citizens Committee paid the fine and fully disbanded shortly afterwards. As the industrial production led to the decline in demand for the shoemaking profession, Plessy went on to do odd jobs as a laborer, warehouseman, clerk, and insurance premium collector. He died in 1925 at the age of 63, 30 years before the separate but equal doctrine would be finally done away with. Of course, just because segregation was outlawed in the 60s doesn't mean it no longer exists today. Much of the remnants of segregation, especially in schooling and housing, can still be seen in every metropolitan area across the United States today. For a deep dive into de facto segregation and how it's all connected to racist laws over the past 150 years, I highly recommend The Color of Law by Richard Rothstein. That and The New Jim Crow are two of the most eye-opening books I've ever read about race in America.
That book, Color of Law, man, for real. When I kick Complex Mind back up, that's probably going to be, if not the first, the second book that I go through. That book is dynamite.
But, and I'll let everybody else talk. I just want to make this point once again, and I know I'm probably getting on everybody's nerve when I say this, because I just can't get over it, and I'll get over it on my due time. This is what I mean when I ignore you blittering morons who keep saying, but that was a long time ago. It was not in effect. Those laws, those principles, those feelings, all those things were not used for just that time. It was used to affect us in the present and the future. Use your head. When we say to you so many times that it's not working, no, it's working perfectly. It's working exactly the way they wanted it to work. See, you're so simple-minded when you keep saying these history that I be putting on this show was a long time ago and it shouldn't affect you now. No, bruh. That was the point of them doing it, to affect us now. But you keep thinking, well, they cleaned it up, so it shouldn't have no effect though, y'all. Y'all just mad, and y'all just don't know, and y'all just lazy, and y'all just don't want to pull yourself up by, bruh. First of all, I'm just really right now speaking to the people who half trying to be sincere. Okay. The other half who knows exactly what I'm talking about, screw you, because you're talking to the wrong group of people. We know you're not coming in good faith. So I'm not even talking to you. But the people who are just, the people who just don't know, and i.e. just don't want to know, those policies and procedures and those laws were set in place for a reason. And it wasn't set in place for not only those times, but for future generations. It may be named a different name. The method may be a little different, but the outcome is exactly the same. Exactly the same. I'm exhausted. But I'm not
Well, I
that
did.
toxic enough that I'm not going to keep doing this. Like, believe me, I just had a past birthday. I'm full of energy on this subject because I got grandkids now. No, I've been in protective mode darn near 20 semi years. Well, longer than that. But my point is, now I got grandkids that I have to protect now too. And I'm telling you what I've told them. You're gonna go out, you better go out swinging. That's all I've asked of you. Give me your all. So if you're gonna go out, you better go out swinging.